Move over iPhone 14. You're not the only iPhone that's going to be coming up here that's going to be getting a new design. So even though Apple is set to release the iPhone 14 in the next couple of weeks, people who are fans of the iPhone SE, listen up, because it might be coming with a major new design. Well, it's an old new design. Much like the iPhone SEs of the past, this new one could come in a familiar form factor. Now, the current iPhone SE has been borrowing the same design as the iPhone 8, and even the one in 2020 still use that iPhone 8 design. With that, you'll get the 4.7-inch display, a huge top and bottom bezel, Touch ID home button with a glass back and aluminum frame. This has been the design again for the last few generations. There have been many rumors circulating about a larger iPhone SE coming in the future, and according to Jon Prosser, we might be getting that real soon. Now, Jon went on the Geared Up podcast, and in the most recent episode, they talked about the iPhone 14, but did drop this nugget of information.
The SE4, from what I understand, and I don't think I've said this publicly, but is just the iPhone XR.
Oh, well, that's...
Yeah.
The iPhone XR, which is no longer listed on Apple stores, has a 6.1-inch LCD display, whereas the current iPhone SE again has that 4.7-inch display. So this change would additionally bring about a bigger screen size for Apple's most inexpensive iPhone. Now, since this iPhone is projected to be either 2023 or 2024, the only other solid rumor about this next generation iPhone SE has come from display industry consultant Ross Young, who has proven to be a reliable source of information for future Apple products. Now, according to Young, Apple is planning to release a 4th generation iPhone SE with a larger 5.7-inch display as early as 2023, although he did not say if such a model would retain the home button or the top and bottom bezels, or adopt a notch screen with Face ID. So clearly there are some discrepancies here, as a 5.7-inch display is obviously different than the current iPhone XR's display sitting at 6.1 inches. Since Apple basically uses the same design as the iPhone 8 for its last 2 iPhone SEs, and only changes a few internal components, it's unclear whether or not Apple will actually go in this direction and make a iPhone XR-like iPhone SE with a smaller 5.7-inch display. The iPhone XR would be a pretty big upgrade for SE users if Apple does in fact borrow many of the design elements and features of that phone. Aside from the larger display, you'd obviously have Face ID over Touch ID, a huge reduction in bezels, and of course the inclusion of the notch for those Face ID components. You'll get better battery life, as the XR had some pretty spectacular battery life back when it was first released. Now, there have been some rumors in the past that Apple would essentially bring a larger iPhone SE to consumers, but it was going to be in the style of the iPhone 8 Plus. But I think it would make more sense and would be a much better product and idea for Apple to go the XR route, kind of update it and refresh the design a little bit, and kind of bring it in line with some of the other phones where, you know, at least we'll have 2 phones this year that will still retain the notch, and so the iPhone SE would be somewhat modern. And so, of course, I would love to hear from you and your thoughts on these rumors of the upcoming iPhone SE getting that XR design in the comments down below. This has been Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you around in the next video.